What am I going to do? I'm being asked to flip my classroom. I can hardly fit all my students in the room now the way it's set up. How will I ever flip it? Maybe Miss Spring can help. I hope she is in her classroom preparing for the new school year. The new school building is beautiful, but it's so big. Ms. Spring, I was coming to your classroom. I have some questions on how to flip my classroom. I thought I would come look at what you've done in yours.
Mr. Fall, you don't have to change the arrangement of your class. That's not what is meant by a flipped classroom. Let's go to computer lab. I'll explain using some examples I have. This is where the flipped classroom begins. I build my lesson plan based on COS and then create an informative video covering the information I want to share with my students.
You mean you lecture on the subject matter and then have them watch the video you created on the same subject, like the old double-dipping concept? That's a lot of work.
No, that would be too much work and defeat the purpose of a flipped classroom. Students don't want to be lectured, they want to be involved. I create the video, PowerPoint, Globster, or whatever means I want to deliver the information. I then put it on the internet for my students to read at home.
Wait, when did you provide them information about what you want them to learn? How will they understand what you are trying to teach?
In class I give a quick explanation about the subject and then leave it up to them to gather additional information on the subject either at home or in the classroom. How much they need to do is based on what the lesson is about. Example, if we are going to learn about gardens, they review the night before and hands-on activities in the class. Most of the work is done in pairs or groups. It helps teach team building and being responsible for equal contribution to the final product. Excuse me. It's one of my students' parents. Hello, Mr. Handful. Yes, that's correct. Alright, I will move your daughter to the other side of the classroom. Okay, goodbye. Sorry. Mr. Handful's daughter gets too distracted if she sits near the window. Now what were you going to ask?
So, you're telling me they do all the learning at home and them simply do some sort of group project every day in class? What do you do during class time while they are working? When do they do homework? What if they don't look at the information you've put on the website for them? What if they don't have access to the internet at home?
That is where the flipped classroom concept comes into action. The work at school is what they used to do at home. The instructional portion is the web information. Evaluations are done the same as always and contributions in class are good indicators of how much study took place at home. Computers at home is a different matter. Parents can rent laptops or students can use the library computers during after-school study time. Some families qualify for grants that businesses offer for purchasing a laptop. Have you seen the new library's computer lab? They have 30 computers with room for 50 more.
I knew the school district was partnering with local businesses, but I thought it was just for the tech school students. I'm glad they're taking a vested interest in all students.
Since the students show their homework at school, what do we do as teachers during the day? Grading papers and acting as referee isn't what I went to school for. I love teaching.
With a flipped classroom, you'll be encouraging students to engage in dialogue with you and other members of the class. You can help them tackle the difficult problems that arise. You're the subject matter expert and you know the learning styles of each of your students. You can allow students to learn at different paces and in different ways.
I think I'm beginning to get the picture. This new flipped concept makes sense. It will mean I will need to better know my content, but it will be worth it. Thank you for explaining the flipped classroom concept. I had no idea how I was going to stick the desks to the ceiling, let alone the students into their seats. By the way, I like how this computer lab is coming along. Let's go see that new library. Now that I'm flipping my classroom, I want to have resource lists for my students.